Hi, welcome to Bridges here at cbrc.tv. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all our viewers around the world. And of course, this show is brought to you by Rex Education, UST Golden Cross and Sabre Alumni Association, and the UST Alumni Association, Inc. This is Evelyn Songko, your host. And of course, we have with us, I'm very privileged, we have with us Dean Henry Tenedero. Dean Henry, kamusta? Good
Hello,
afternoon. Good evening na pala.
oo.
Good evening. Oo.
Good evening, good
Kamusta ka?
afternoon, good
Welcome
morning
back.
to all of
Excited
you.
ako.
Mabuti. Kaya nga long time no see. Nice to be back here
Yeah.
because we have a very exciting episode and a very
Yes.
brilliant guest
Yes,
tonight.
that's true Oo. Last time, aquaponics tayo. Pero kasi, alam nyo mga kaibigan, ngayon this month has been declared or proclaimed as the National Anti-Trafficking in Persons Awareness Month. O kaya tamang-tama, kasi Dean Henry ang ating guest galing sa International Justice Mission. Diba? Mahalaga talaga yung
Correct,
pag-uusapan natin, Dean Henry.
correct. Our topic for tonight is very, very timely, relevant, at nakaangkop sa panahon ngayon. Napakahalaga kaya sa yung mga nakikinig sa atin, just stick around because you will learn so much and you will be protected.
Oh,
Guaranteed.
yeah, yeah. True, true. Kaya nga, Dean Henry, do me the favor. Please introduce our guest speaker. Or guest speaker, our guest.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Evelyn Sonko. Tonight, our guest is Attorney Alexandrino Malilin, or Attorney Alex for short. He is the Senior Manager for Investigation and Law Enforcement Development of the International Justice Mission. He is a graduate of the Bachelor of Arts degree, major in political science from our very own, from the UST Faculty of Arts and Letters, and advanced ROTC course. He holds a Juris Doctor degree also from UST. He was a state attorney in the Department of Justice and was assigned at the Interagency Council Against Trafficking. At present, Attorney Alex assists enforcement officers in handling cases involving online sexual exploitation of children or OSEC. Welcome to Bridges, Attorney Alex.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the Tomasian community sa Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and even outside of the country. I'm so glad po, and it's really a big privilege to be here po in this episode of Bridges. Hi po, Doc Songko and Dean Atenedero. I'm so glad to be with you today.
Ako, good afternoon, Attorney Alex. Welcome to Bridges. We're so happy to have you with us. Naku, mabigat ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon, Attorney Alex. Medyo kailangan talaga mag-pay attention. Ang online sexual exploitation ng ating mga kabataan. In short, OSEC yun. Tama ba ako, Attorney Alex? Please tell
Yes, Doc
us.
Songko. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please tell us give us a background on this, and then also maybe you can tell us about the International Justice Mission.
Yes, Doc Songko. Thank you po for that generous introduction, and also Dean Tenedero. So, by the way, let me just explain to you what is IJM, or International Justice Mission, the organization or the office that I represent, and also the place where I'm currently working. So IJM po is the largest anti-modern day slavery organization in the world, and it is based in Washington DC and has several field offices po in the developing world. So dito po sa Pilipinas ay meron po tayong dalawang field office. We have the Manila field office and the Cebu field office. And our casework focus po is yung online sexual exploitation of children, or yung OSEC. And just to give you a very brief definition of OSEC, ito po yung mga ranges. It consists of different ranges of crimes that involves child sexual abuse using online. So ito po yung mga cyber sex trafficking, child pornography, and even child abuse. At it also includes po yung live streaming of sexual abuse na nagaganap po
Oh,
ngayon, and lalo pa pong tumaas because of this pandemic.
live streaming talaga, ha? Live
Yes, ma'am.
streaming ng OSE. Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And
Oo.
as we are now very concerned with our safety dito po sa pandemic na ito, but at the same time marami po sa ating mga kabataan ngayon ay hindi safe, no, hindi ligtas ngayong lockdown dahil sa dami po na nare-report of online abuse of children during this lockdown. And as a matter of fact po, the Philippines is at the epicenter ng ganito pong crime ngayong pandemic, no? But at the same time, ang good news naman po is the Philippines also at the forefront of its fight against cyber sex trafficking. Sabi nga po sa United States 2021 TIP report or Trafficking Persons Report, ang Philippines po ay nasa Tier 1 status. Ang ibig pong sabihin ay meron talagang significant efforts na ginagawa ng Philippine government to address this kind of modern day slavery. And that's
Oh,
what I'm doing
yeah.
right now po in my profession.
Oh, nakakatuwa yan, Dean Henry, di ba? At
So
least,
ibig
Dean Henry,
sabihin,
meron tayong
yes,
lumalaban. Sige, Dean
correct.
Henry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Napabalita yan kung ilang beses na may mga nahuhuli at kinokonek ka nila, Attorney Alex, sa kasalukuyang pandemic na nangyayari, no, yung mga lockdown. Dahil
Totoo po yan.
pigil ang paggalaw ng mga bata, puro online, so doon nakakapasok yung ganitong kasamaang, ay nako, ang hirap. So, continue educating us, Attorney, regarding this regarding the efforts you're doing to address this heinous crime.
Yes, sir. So
So,
ayon
Dean
po
Henry,
sa
may
Yes, ma'am.
kinalaman ang pandemic dito sa pagtaas ng ganitong klaseng kriminalidad. Ganun ba yun?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And,
Ah,
Sir Henry, and ayon po sa National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or NICMIC as we call it, meron pong 28% no na increase sa mga na-receive nilang reports involving videos, images of child sexual exploitation materials. Mula po sa 16.9 million noong 2019, ito po ay tumaas sa 21.7 million. At ganoon din po yung na-report ng Interagency Council Against Trafficking or ng AYACAT, the primary body that addresses human trafficking in the Philippines. So, kung meron po tayong IATF to implement yung mga health protocols sa pandemic, pero di po tayong AYACAT or the Interagency Council Against Trafficking. And IJM po is an NGO member of that agency. And nasabi rin po may talagang threefold increase of the reports na nare-receive po ng mga images, videos of child sexual abuse na from 400,000 po in 2019 ay meron na po tayo ngayon na 1.2 million images and videos that were received and reported sa kanila pong office. So makikita po natin talaga na this is really a serious concern, and at the same time, based on the statistics or the study, the coronavirus lockdowns have contributed to this increase dahil po ang ating mga kabataan ay, of course, we have access to the internet at homes, they're staying at homes, and then yung mga traffickers din po have access to these children and to the people who are partaking or purchasing yung mga offer of child sexual abuse online because of the lockdown. And nakalukot dito, Dr. Songko and Dean Tenedero ay meron pang yung most of the traffickers or the suspected perpetrators are their own parents. So sarili nilang mga magulang ang gumagawa po nito. So yun po yung medyo nakakalungkot na isang epekto ng pandemic. Yes, ma'am.
Napakalungkot
yun
yan,
yun ang
Oo.
yun ang karumal-dumal dahil mismong mga magulang, kamag-anak, ang sila pa nagbubugaw ng mga batang ito. So, napakasakit na
Very
malaman
sad,
na,
yes.
no,
Now, and then there is
very
increasing
sad.
true. And then there is increasing statistics on this. From this data that you have, Attorney Alex, what insights did you get out of this data, mga stats?
Yes. There are three things po that we have learned from this kind of crime or range of crimes. So number one po, OSEC or online sexual exploitation of children is a global crime. Second, it is a global crime that requires a global response. And third, it is a technology-enabled crime that requires technology-enabled solution. So pupuntahan ko po muna yung una. No? First, it is a global crime. So makita po natin in this illustration, nakita niyo po yan sa screen, yung paggamit po ng social networking or social media sites. No? So na ginagamit din po natin ngayon in our communications with our friends, loved ones, and even in our homeschooling or right now. No? So ganyan din po yung ginagamit na platform. And then, the abuse materials are being sent from the source countries katulad po ng Pilipinas and to those demand countries na more developed na mga bansa. And then, yung pera po, yung money remittances ay napapadala rin po in the same platforms that we also send money to our loved ones, friends during this pandemic. So ito po yung nangyayari dito. And kaya mahalaga po talaga no, na pupunta tayo sa pangalawa. No? First, it's a global crime. Second, kailangan talaga ng isang global response. No? Kailangan ng isang malaking global initiative against this kind of crime kasi po it involves po yung crossing of borders. So dito po in this illustration, we could see that ang pinakamataas po of course is in the United States, which is 34%. 25% po sa Sweden at 18% sa Australia. So hindi naman po ibig sabihin na dahil mataas sa kanila itong mga demand countries, masama yung bansa nila or hindi. No? Dahil ibig sabihin lang po yan, nare-report. No? They have an effective law enforcement strategy to address this crime. And so we are receiving referrals from this country involving this kind of abuse. And after that, our Philippine local authorities are trying to address, do the investigation and then surveillance of these reported OSEC referrals. So yan po yung first. Yes.
Yung mga nahuhuli, quickly lang, anong ginagawa para lang malaman ng ating mga nanonood? Yung mga nahuhuli, anong ginagawa?
Yes. So usually din, magsisimula po kasi ang isang case involving this kind of crime through a referral. So meron pong referral na manggagaling sa isang international law enforcement agency. So halimbawa po Australian Federal Police. At meron po silang na-aresto na Australian national na sex offender online dahil nakita nila na meron siyang child abuse material sa kanyang mga gadgets or na-report siya. So na-aresto po siya and they're able to track na rin nag-offer po ng mga child abuse materials na ito ay galing sa Pilipinas. So, that referral will be transmitted to the Philippines and then magkakandak na po ng investigation and surveillance on that. And once they're able to monitor that and confirm that indeed there are some people in the Philippines who were suspected to be engaged in this activity, and they will now conduct a simultaneous rescue operations in order to rescue the victims, or as we call it, the survivors, and then arrest the suspects once they will show that meron silang offer online. So ang mere offer po kasi is already a crime of human trafficking. Hindi kailangan na actually ma-abuse yung mga kabataan online. So the mere offer itself, if you offer someone online, you will already be liable at kailangan na pong i-rescue yung mga batang yon dahil hindi natin kailangan na antayin pa na ma-abuse po sila. Because once it's there in the internet, it's out there po. Hindi na po maalis yan.
Oh, just so that is very sad. Now, when you said that those percentages actually refers to referral, no, which means there are cases which are not referred, and you suspect there are cases which are not referred. Tama ba? Oo.
Tama yan. So, yes, ma'am. Tama mo po.
So that means kapag ka nakakita ka ng percentages, ibig sabihin yan, yung percentage na yan, hindi ang ibig lang sabihin yan, merong mga ni-refer at effective ang kanilang tracing. Yun
That's
ba
correct,
yung
Dr. Soko.
Attorney?
Yes, totoo po yun. Tama po yun, ma'am. Yes. So, na-report lang sila kasi they were able to track it and nagkaroon po ng arrest or possible investigation over those cases. So, na-report siya. Kaya, hindi talaga accurate or it's not even possible to know the exact number of the victims. And even minsan po may mga ilang provinces in the Philippines that they're saying na, sa amin po, wala namang nare-report. So, they're very happy, dahil baka mayaman yung probinsya nila or hindi mahirap. Pero totoo po niyan, not necessarily na walang nare-report, ligtas, no, po yung ating ano po doon, no, yung mga kabataan, because as we could see, ito po is online platform and it's very accessible everywhere. So pwedeng di lang nare-report or nade-detect.
Talk about
So,
geographics, attorney. Sa Pilipinas, saan ano, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, talagang talamak itong crime na ito.
So again, sir, as we have said, it doesn't necessarily mean na may na-rescue in this area or madalas ang rescue in that area ay talamak. No? So pwedeng meron lang silang effective law enforcement strategies and investigation in that place. Kaya maraming rescue operation in that area because yung local units nila na trained, no, they're trained to handle online investigations and surveillance. So nahuhuli, no, but it's actually around the Philippines po, no, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. There are a lot of simultaneous rescue operations being conducted. At yung mga successful operations po ay dahil lamang sa effective law enforcement strategies. And not only that, because of the effective justice functioning sa mga local those local government units. Yes, ma'am.
Kayo,
Yes, ma'am.
ang
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead,
IJM
ma'am.
ay actually present in Cebu and Manila. Paano sa Mindanao? Are you planning
Yes.
to have also your field office there?
Yes, ma'am. So that's a very good question, ma'am. No? So right now po yung IJM Manila Field Office is focusing on assisting our government sa Luzon. So it involves po yung assisting provided to law enforcement agencies and even to the Department of Justice sa prosecution naman and even the DSWD. And then po yung Cebu Field Office naman po yung nagfo-focus sa Visayas and Mindanao. So combine na po yan, ang operations po ng Cebu Field Office, combine po in Mindanao and in Visayas. Opo.
I see. Is there concentration? Is there concentration of cases like this in urban areas?
Yes, ma'am, madalas din sa urban areas. It's because of the accessibility of the internet. So actually, ma'am, as of the moment, yes. So again, even in the urban areas, mga cities po na maraming operation, no, and it's not really because of the prevalence of online abuse in that area, but again because of the effective detection and yung entrapment in that area. So syempre yan po, yung Metro Manila is of course we have a lot here in Metro Manila, even in Cebu and even in Davao. So yung isang malaking case po recently is in Mindanao, no, involving several children and resulted to the arrest of the suspects who are even their own parents. So yan po yung yes. So malaga, ma'am, na yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
IJM is part of DOJ.
So ang IJM po, sir, is an international organization.
Correct.
So it's based po in Washington DC, but we are an NGO member of the Interagency Council Against Trafficking. So I used to work po before in the DOJ before I joined the IJM. But before po nasa DOJ din po ako and hindi Ayakat. So it's only it's an NGO representative of children sa Interagency Council Against Trafficking. Pero hindi po siya part of the Philippine government.
Part of the organic, hindi siya NGO siya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then may singit ko lang, Attorney Alex, itong Philippine Internet Crimes Against Children Center or PICAP, nakalagay dito, you work hand in hand with PNP, NBI, DOJ, etc. So interagency collaboration siya.
Yes, sir. So ito pong PICAC, sir, the Philippine Internet Crimes Against Children Center. Yes, sir. The PICAC office is based in Camp Crame. So dito po ay nagko-collaborate po yung mga different international law enforcement agencies around the world, including the PNP and NBI. And kasama rin po dito yung isang NGO katulad ng IJM. So dito po ang isa sa mga big achievements po ng Philippines, ito pong sa PICAC, kasi dito po nagko-collaborate, no, yung mga different law enforcement agencies, receive ng referrals, and also sharing of their expertise and also their knowledges about addressing this crime, even technology. So kaya sabi nga po natin, no, in my second point, it's a global crime that requires a global response. And so because of that, despite of this pandemic, if you have seen a while ago yung statistics, they're able to pull, no, napakaraming rescue operations during this pandemic because of this international collaboration and global initiative. So ang ang founding members po niya nung PICAP office are the PNP, the NBI Anti-Human Trafficking in Persons Division, the Philippine National Police Women and Children Protection Center, and then may tatlo rin pong international law enforcement agencies na nag-co-found po niyan, yung Australian Federal Police, the United Kingdom National Crime Agency, and the Swedish National Police. And one NGO member, kasama rin po dyan yung International Justice Mission because of our experience and some products or taught products as far as this field of modern day slavery is concerned.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You
So,
know,
sa coordinate, okay, go ahead, Dr.
Yes.
Songko. Go
no,
ahead.
no.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dean. Dean Henry, you first.
So, yung sa pala, nakikita ko yung dynamics ng working relationship, no? So, very ano siya, kumbaga may sistema talaga. Pag meron kayo nakitang operations going on at kailangan salakayin, meron kayong mga protocols na tinatawag para alert ang NBI, ang PNP, AFP, para sa ganun talagang masampulan, no? Mahuli talaga, no?
Yes, sir. Totoo po yan. No? Talagang ano yan. Yun yung mga steps, no? Global initiatives, partnership between the local law enforcement agencies and the international law enforcement agencies.
Pero sa akin
Maganda
palagay,
na alam natin ngayon. Oo. Maganda na nalaman natin ngayon, meron tayong initiative, no? Siyempre, galing sa pamahalaan. Pero meron din tayong NGO na nakikialam sa ganitong klase ng kriminalidad. So, yung IJM is very active on this, very, very passionate about this. Now, when you have all of this data and then you know the situation, what interventions are you doing? Ano yung inyong ginagawa to address the situations like that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Dr. Songko. So the intervention po that is being provided is so after the rescue, siyempre kailangan po diyan yung prosecution, no? Mahalaga po yung perpetrator accountability kasi kung wala pong hustisya or justice, then the children or the survivors who were rescued will not realize that what happened to them was wrong. So kailangan po talaga may managot sa batas. So there must be perpetrator accountability. So aside from the support during the rescue operations for law enforcement officers or agencies, kailangan din po yung successful prosecution of the case. So sa IJM po, we have lawyers, social workers, and even former police officers sa United States to teach us no yung mga na technology na ginagamit to address this crime to have an effective law enforcement. Tapos po ng prosecution, meron din dapat yung restoration naman of the victims. So we have social workers na na mga na nag-volunteer din helping the DSWD to provide naman po yung mga aftercare services for the rescued victims. So sa IJM po, by the way, Doc Songko and Dean Henry, marami pong Tomasian. So I'm a Tomasian, and then our field office director is also a Tomasian. And then even our VP and ang dami pong lawyers from the UST. So tatlo po kasi pillar. So merong aftercare pillar who are consisting of social workers. Usually most of them are also former DSWD social workers. So meron din kaming prosecution pillar. So mga lawyers po. I used to be part of that team, but now I'm currently leading the investigations and law enforcement development team, assisting the law enforcement officer. So ito po medyo nagamit ko po yung mga natutunan ko no during my ROTC days no na the value of effective law enforcement and even yung of course yung servant leadership. So kahit paano nagagamit ko po yung mga natutunan during my college years in this department. So yan yung ginagawa nating intervention Doc Songko and Dean Henry, yung tatlong aspeto pong yan no, from the rescue, prosecution of the case, and then eventually in the restoration of the victims. So, by the way pala, mag-add ko lang po dyan, Doc, so ako add ko lang, the commanding general or the chief of the PNP Women and Children Protection Center is also a Tomasian. He's a graduate of engineering. Commanding chief of the Women and Children Protection Center. So, really, there are a lot from the Tomasian alumni. You are really involved in this cause. and really dedicating their lives, to protect our children, especially during this lockdown.
Ako, we are so
Marami,
happy to know that.
marami
Nakakatuwa, hindi
nagsasabi,
ba, Dean Henry?
yes, marami nagsasabi sa ating mga chat na very timely at relevant itong ating discussion. Thank you
Oo.
very much. Sabi ni Attorney Ellen Francisco, Presidente ng Law Alumni Foundation, sila Dean Pedrosa, lahat, puro mga the timeliness of this, and siguro incidental na lang na namumuno rito mga Tomasino kasi talagang ano yan,
Yes.
commitment,
At hindi
compassion,
natin alam. Di
competent.
ba? At hindi natin alam. Napakaganda because probably we can still invite another one from them who can talk about the advocacy and the action taken by many of them, no, in the field fighting this kind of criminality. Diba? Din Henry, you have question?
Kasi pinapaalam ni Attorney Ellen Francisco na ang sanhi ba talaga nito ay kahirapan. Kasi mayroong mga cases din, mga urban areas na sabihin na natin nakakaliwasa. So hindi mo iisipin na kahirapan, talagang kahalayan. Anong point mo ron, Attorney Alex? Kasi palagi natin pinupunto ang ugat ng lahat ng kasamaan daw ay dahil sa kahirapan. Well, I personally beg to disagree kasi societal problem yan eh. Pero sa inyong palagay, Attorney Alex, what's your take on that?
Yes, totoo po, no, Dean Henry. Well, yung poverty po is one of the enabling factors among other things. Of course, this is also a moral issue, and makita natin na sa Philippines, talagang strong ating fight against it, and we are really strengthening, we're just strengthening, no, these efforts. Kasi talaga sa Philippines, we're really convinced, no, that this is really an evil thing to do, masama ito at hindi ito mabuti sa mga kabataan. However, in other countries, no, wala silang ganitong konsepto, no, and as a matter of fact, they don't even know na nangyayari ito sa mga bansa nila, no. So, well, poverty might be one of the enabling factors, but we were able to see na rin, no, sa ilang mga cases natin na even po sa mga children studying in private schools, regardless of social status or yung kanila pong even in the middle class ay prone po talaga, no, into this kind of abuse. As a matter of fact, minsan hindi lang po yung money, no, minsan meron pong element of deception sa mga ganito, no, na there are some really individuals na nag-take advantage po ng mga kabataan by using deception, and then they will be now exposed into this kind of abuse. So hindi talaga yung poverty po is one of the enabling factor, but it's not the only factor. And as a matter of fact, nangyayari din po ito in all societies, and even to the rich countries and even to the rich communities po.
Ako, alam mo, Attorney Alex, listening to you, nadudurog ang puso ko. Kaya lang, yung sitwasyon na yan, sa palagay ko, hindi naman pamahalaan lang, no, ang kailangan gumalaw. So, sa tingin mo ba, ano ang pwede nating gawin bilang mga mamamayan sa sitwasyon na yan? Anong tulong ang pwede nating gawin?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, unang napakahalaga po ng isang supportive community, no, to address this kind of crime. So, ang supportive community po kasi ay tumutulong din in that, not only in raising awareness, but seeing to it that this kind of activities are being reported. No? So, kaya mahalaga po na ma-report yung ating mga ganito kung may nabalitaan po kayo, and of course, yung mga no, yung mga bagay na what do you call this, yung cyber protection during this lockdown. Be sure na we always know the activities of our children at home. May access tayo sa mga social media websites nila kasi po as we have said a while ago, pwede rin may element of deception or even yung mga taking advantage of their vulnerability during this lockdown. So yan po yung siguro na magagawa ng ating community, and of course the church is also playing a very important role on this. So just ano lang po, no, last month, Dr. Songko and Dean Henry, we have the Manila prayer gathering, no, for this is an interfaith prayer gathering for victims or survivors of human trafficking and online abuse. So lahat po yung umattend, ang CBCP po ay nag-participate, and even the different denominations, including the Muslim community, also prayed, no, during that interfaith movement po against human trafficking.
Oo
on the
nga.
human on
Talagang
the human yeah.
uh-huh.
Oh, go ahead, Dr.
No,
Songko.
no, you first.
On the
Bini,
human
you
side,
first.
attorney, yung mga na-rescue nyo, na-survive, naging biktima ng krimen,
Yes.
can you recall any heartfelt, heartwarming testimony from these victims?
Yes, talaga naka-encourage po no yung kanilang mga testimonies after they became survivors of this kind of abuse. So, narinig po yan during sa mga events wherein they're being invited and even leading no those people who are also naging biktima ng OSEC no, or human trafficking. So, meron pong what we call the Global Survivors Network. So, nag-lead po dyan ay isa ring former or survivor of human trafficking. So makita po natin no, paano nagbago yung buhay nila no, after the rescue. So syempre simula they've been very traumatized. No? Yung rescue mismo po ay nakaka-trauma. Hindi lamang po yung actual abuse but also at the time of the rescue, of course, the families will be broken lalo na kung involved po yung parents nila. But the good thing here is, of course, the state has to step up and take responsibility as provided for in the Constitution, yung parents patriae role of the state, wherein it will take responsibility as the parents for the reintegration and restoration of the victim. At after po nung ganong proseso, ng aftercare process, makita natin how were they able to recover at maging victorious po no after that kind of abuse. So may iba po sa kanila na malapit lang gumraduate ng law. So may mga ganun pong mga victims ngayon na previously na rescue or sexual abuse victim. May iba naman po na they're able to secure or rather have no, yung mga qualified adopted parents. So may mga ganun din pong mga instances, pag lalo na po yung mga sobrang baby pa or maliliit pa, that the DSWD is assisting in their adoption program so that they will have a normal life and also yung mga educational provisions aside from other needs po ng mga rescued victims. So, meron din po tayong ano dito, no, Doc Soko, yung video po ng isang survivor, no? So, I think we can also play that testimony ng isa
And
pong
good afternoon
video.
to
So,
all of
her
you.
name po is si
My
Charito. So, si
name is
Charito po,
Charito.
ayan.
I am a
Ayan po si
Filipina
Charito.
from the Visayas region in the city of Cebu, and I work as a medical social worker. I am a survivor of trafficking, and I am one of the founding leadership council members of the Global Survivor Network in the Philippines and have been in this position since 2019. I want to share with you why I decided to become part of the GSN. After my long and difficult journey to recovery, I decided to pursue studies in social work. During my college days, I spent my spare time volunteering at the shelter where I once lived. While volunteering, I heard story after story from survivors who were courageously walking on the path to recovery. During this time, I decided to get involved in a local survivor group in Cebu called SMART. This stands for Survivors Mentoring and Advocating for Restorative Transformation. I joined because I wanted to seek out ways of encouraging other survivors on their journey to healing and recovery. Listening and learning from the stories of other survivors motivated me to become an advocate, to speak on behalf of those who are trafficked, and bring our voices together to be heard globally. Through my involvement in SMART, I became more confident in advocating and sharing my story and began to hope that my experience could have a bigger impact. When I heard about the Global Survivor Network, I knew it would help me to achieve this hope, and I believe that sharing my journey is one way to help an end to all forms of violence, especially sexual exploitation. I believe that we are more than our abuse stories. As a survivor, our stories are not just about the trauma or the abuse that we have experienced. We are living examples of restoration and healing. The Global Survivor Network is more than sharing our story of healing. We are a group of survivors who encourage one another through regular meetings and to prevent re-victimization. We mentor younger girls and boys who are just beginning their journey freedom. As a founding Leadership Council member of the Global Survivor Network, I am looking forward to witnessing each one of the beautiful people who are on this difficult journey reach their full potential and inspire more survivors to become leaders and advocates. We use our voices and experiences together to educate the community and raise awareness about the realities of human trafficking and the real solutions to end this crime. My vision for the Global Survivor Network is for survivors all around the globe to know that they are not alone and that they are part of something much bigger. My message to all of you here today is that every survivor has a voice, a unique identity which deserves to be recognized and heard. Walk with us on this journey. Support us, that our voices may be heard and we can give the light of freedom to the oppressed and trafficked. Join us in praying for the victims, that they would be found, rescued, and find healing on the journey to freedom. Pray with us that the people behind the Global Survivor Network will have the courage to continue the fight against violence. This is our prayer, and we believe that with you, this can happen, so that all survivors may experience true freedom. Thank you.
No,
Yan po si Charito, Doc
sana,
Soto, no? Doc Tongko.
oo, yeah, sana nanonood si Charito. Charito, you are very courageous. And congratulations. At hangang-hanga ako sa'yo kasi may courage ka to speak out so that your voice will be heard. At napakaganda ng iyong ginagawa. At ginagawa rin ng iba. Yes, we will journey with you. Ang tanong ko, paano sila paunlad ng kanilang grupo, ng kanilang pangkat na lalo na sa Global Survivor Network? Merong mga foundations na nagbibigay sa kanila ng tulong, ganun ba 'yon?
Yes, Dr. Soho, totoo po yan. So, syempre, ito rin po ay isa sa mga advocacies of IJM. So, we have the aftercare team, yung mga social workers po natin in providing the programs for the survivors of OSEC. At meron din po, of course, in partnership with the DSWD. At marami din pong other international NGOs who are focusing din po no, on children who are being abused. Hindi lang po sa women, no, but both sexes, no, both genders po are affected, no, regardless of gender. As you can, by the way, ma'am, no, in this crime po, marami din pong male victims. As a matter of fact, kukulang po yung mga male social workers. So wala tayong male social workers right now, and isa po yun sa mga challenge no, in this kind of crime. But the good thing here is that marami pong mga programs for their reintegration and restoration through these different networks, katulad po nitong Global Survivor Network. So yan po yung mga iba sa mga initiatives.
Attorney Alex, alam mo ba, tuwang-tuwa sa iyo si Attorney Ellen Francisco, the president of the Law Alumni Foundation, Inc. Pinupuri ka niya, tuwang-tuwa siya sa iyo.
I'm so honored.
Palagay ko kukontakin ka niya. Attorney Alex, marami pa tayong magandang pag-usapan, pero time na kasi. What is your final message to our viewers this evening?
So, thank you po, no, Doc Songko and Dean Henry. 3 things lang po. Number 1, let us be vigilant no, during this pandemic, especially sa larangan po ng cyber protection. Kasi po, again, I've seen our episode that we were discussing the blessings no, of online learning, the technology. But at the same time, no, hindi po ligtas rin. It's not so safe, no, especially for children na na-expose po sa mga social media websites and other platforms. So, mahalaga po talaga na i-prioritize natin yung child protection. We see to it that alam natin yung mga online activities. Second po, ang laban po against human trafficking and even online sexual exploitation of children is a multidisciplinary approach. So hindi lamang po ito ay role ng police officers or law enforcement, but also all professions po ay merong part na pwedeng magawa. So like for example po, I'm also encouraging my fellow alumni in the UST Golden Cross and Sabre to be part of this advocacy. We came from different professions, may engineers, or simple mga mamamayang nag-work lang, mga empleyado, but we have a lot of, we can contribute or even the particular work that we are doing. So mahalaga po no yung mga multidisciplinary approach no in this crime. And third po yung ating reporting. So we can report this no sa Ayakat Action Hotline po sa 1343, and we can also visit po no yung ating social media websites. So in IGM Philippines, where we can report no any any activities like this, and also to our local police and even to the local DSWD as part of yung mga community referrals. So yun lamang po siguro yung aking encourage with this thing.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Alexandrino Malilin. We are very proud of you, of the things that you have been doing. And of course, for also the other alumni who are in the same advocacy, in the same work that you have been doing. Congratulations to all of you. I know marami pa kayong gagawin. Dean Henry?
Yes, thank you very much for the work that you're doing for the Filipino people and for the international community, Attorney Alex Manilin. The powerful message delivered by Charito, once a victim, now a victor, championing the cause of child protection, especially in the midst of this pandemic, gives us the hope that while cyber online thing is a whole high tech thing, we don't forget the high touch aspect of human life. So napakaganda ng ating episode ngayon. Nakaka ano ng damdamin, di ba? Kasi kawawa yung
Totoo,
mga tao.
totoo. Totoo.
Mm.
Kaya kailangan nating pasalamatan ang ating mga sponsors. Dean Henry, will you do that?
Yes, pasalamatan natin. Let me read. We thank the Rex Education and the UST Golden Cross and Sabre Alumni Association for sponsoring our show tonight. Thank you, Dr. Rodrigo de Mesa, the president of the UST GCSAA. Bridges can be watched anytime at Bridges.tv, Bridges YouTube channel. To our fellow alumni, follow us on Facebook, UST Alumni Association, Inc., or visit our website, UST Alumni Association. Support
Of
our
course.
alumni community exchange. Tomasian sellers and Tomasian buyers meet. Contact us at our Facebook. To our alumni who like their product to be included in the tax exchange or purchase any from it, you may contact Mrs. San Juan, the UST alumni. So, thank you very much for this wonderful evening, Dr. Sonko. So nice to see you again, and what a beautiful way to have Tomasian leading a very powerful NGO group, the International Justice Mission. May your mission
Okay, and
continue.
yes, and just a reminder to all our alumni who are interested to join our ongoing digital poster making competition on Kapaligiran. This contest is sponsored by the Environmental Systems and Technologies, Intramuros Administration, Archeon Architects, Equipaje Associates, Anino Design, Agus Media, Agimat. This contest is open to all Tomasians. Ang deadline naman ay sa August pa. Support our advocacy for quality education. Donate a beautiful storybook entitled Cargasus to any public school of your choice. Contact Dr. Marilyn Cano at 0917-820-1103. At ngayong nalalapit na naman ang panahon ng bagyo, mabuti na ang laging handa. At tayo naghahanda din, we shall have a bingo for a cause. This is for our disaster response. Tickets are now available with the president of your alumni association. Please do not hesitate to contribute 500 lang po, for which you will receive a card that you can play several times. Great prizes awaits the winners. At kasama rin dyan ang raffle draw. Diba? Very exciting ang mga prizes. May bingo na, may raffle pa para sa ating mga Tomasino. Thank you to the CBRC administration and staff. Dean Henry?
Okay, thank you very much. Remember this, here at Bridges, we do not build walls. We build connections, connections of people and knowledge. Thank you very much.
And here at Bridges, we build bridges of faith, bridges of hope, and bridges of love. Thank you very much for joining in and staying on, listening to us, watching us. Thank you very much. Have a great week ahead. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Mabuhay. Welcome to Bridges here at cbrc.tv. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our viewers around the world.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Evelyn Songko at sa mga viewers ng ating Bridges. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Again. And hello, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to our viewers on Bridges here on cbrc.tv.